You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we made it to another week. I'm a little surprised, but there you go. Every time I wake up on a Monday morning, it's another week. I'm like, what am I doing here? Anyway, I'm getting
That's
old.
how I feel on Fridays. I'm like, yes, we made it through another week.
Yeah,
It's
another
Friday.
week, I know, but I got to do it again. Well, we have Amber Case, and who's going to tell us about Harvest House, and Kelly Alexander, who's going to sit there and look pretty, I guess. Is that what you said you're going to do?
Yes, that's what I said I was going to do. Sit here and look pretty.
You do a great job of that.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you.
All right. So, but no, we're going to ask you a lot of questions, both of you, because there's a lot going on in y'all's particular avenue of nonprofit, and some of this is out of y'all's control, we know. And so we're going to talk about what's going on and how the government shutdown may affect it. Now, I'll do the politics. They're not going to do the politics. So don't, if I say something political, it doesn't reflect on them, okay? Because they need donations from both sides, right?
Absolutely.
And you serve both sides.
That's right.
You don't ask, let's see your voter registration card. Oh, you're the wrong party. I'm sorry. Go down the street. It didn't work that way?
It does not. We feed people like Jesus asked us to without prerequisite.
I know. I was just kind of giving you a hard time. But it's a serious situation, though, because it could get really serious if things don't get resolved pretty soon. But before we jump into that fun, we're also going to talk about your harvest brunch. And apparently you got an MC for it, Mr. Rippey, Zach Rippey, who does the I Like Birds podcast.
That's right.
Oh, so you're snagging big-time talent, huh? Okay.
Yes. We are so excited about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about what that's all about and talk on Facebook. There you go. So let's talk about the sponsors because they make all this possible. We all know Otto and his Our Place. I was there last Thursday morning. My men and I, we tried to solve the world's problems, and we didn't even try this time because we can't solve them. So we just talked football. We can't solve that either. So,
That's made me more complicated than politics.
Well,
right now.
certainly the college scene is. We talk mostly college football because the Cowboys are past hope, so we don't worry about them. But, we talk about the politics of football because there's a lot of it going on with that, too. And so it's a mess. And then my Fighting Bears have decided, well, I don't feel like playing football this season, so there you go, that kind of thing. Here, we'll share the various groups because they all need to know what's going on at the Harvest
I will be
House.
going to Our Place for lunch whenever we're done here. So
Is that right?
Love some Our Place.
Yeah, is it just for lunch or is there a meeting or something like that involved?
Just for lunch.
Yeah, it's a good place to do it. I do a lot of my business at Gina's, in fact, because it's a good place to do it. And they got really good music that I really like. I like that old blues music, and it's got great pizza. And, they'll have the TVs on. Afternoon sports is what makes this country great.
Yes.
Sitting there with a pizza and a beer at 2 o'clock watching sports, it's like, makes you proud to be American. Right? But anyway, so Gina's Pizza, you know what? You love it. Okay. Also, my friend John at All Pro Roofing, we had a pretty good rain this Saturday. I don't know if we all did, but we did. And I just slept through it because my roof is in good shape. Why do I know that? Because John told me so. Because he came out and inspected it. 817-734-2756. Get yourself a free inspection. It's not supposed to rain for about 10 days, so this is a good time to do it. And sooner or later we're going to have hard weather, and you want your roof to handle all that, and he'll tell you. He'll tell you if you need repairs. He'll tell you if you don't. He'll tell you if you need a new roof, and if you do, he'll help you with the insurance companies, which he'll tell you some insurance companies are more difficult than others. Now, mine, Texas Farm Bureau, did me fine. They did me well when I needed it. So I always throw that plug in there for that. But John will help you with all those needs. So give him a holler, 817-734-2756. Also, my friend Jeff Kelly, 817-781-0546 with the Wethington Agency. He's going to be here next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. And we're going to talk about some of the amendments in the Texas Constitution, how it affects homeowners, because there's several, actually. And that's what I'm going to talk about on Monday. I'm going to rant a little bit about some of those amendments and see most people aren't paying attention to that. And I get it because, a lot of those amendments don't apply to them personally. But I think they need to know what's going to happen if they're passed, which they will be, I'm almost sure. I don't think I've ever seen an amendment not pass, so we'll see what happens. And we'll talk all about that. But 817-781-0546 or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. He'll set you up if you're looking to buy or sell. Also, my friend Al, I keep missing Tiffany. Sorry, dear. Bless your heart. Tiffany Jane or Local Life, you'll have it probably next Monday. I do know coming up, she does an issue on nonprofits, so I would not doubt she'll be hollering at y'all pretty soon.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And you'll be getting your pictures in there. And you'll be putting your phone number under, right, Kelly? And you'll call me. No, really? No.
Maybe sometimes my number's in there.
And you never
Just
know.
depends.
It's just, sorry. You're such an easy target. I don't know, because you get that bewildered look in your face when you come in the studio.
She is an easy target. It's hard. Yeah. She's a great sport.
Yeah, bless her heart. Anyway, Local Life Magazine, Tiffany, yes, it'll be out there next Monday. You can check out locallifetx.com for the latest information. And my friend Al over at Bass Printing. Josh, did you get the new logo by any chance? He sent it to me this weekend. I don't know if I sent it to you in time.
I'm getting that in.
Okay, well, good. But anyway, Bass Printing and Consulting Services. You can call them at 817-616-8761 or get them at Alric, that's ALRICK, at bassprinting.com.
I love their logo.
Yes, it is. The thing is, people think it has to do with his hobbies as a bass fisherman or something like that. It has nothing to do with fish. He just bought the franchise and he kept the name because it was familiar. But Alric's from St. Kitts, so he's a very interesting character, to say the least. Lots of personality. But again, 817-616-8761. I do believe a couple of nonprofit stuff, but we'll go over that at the end, particularly our friend Rich Hooper. They're still in their fundraising mode, so to speak. Of course, when you talk to nonprofits, you're always in the fundraising mode.
It never ends.
It never ends.
It never ends.
And I got to ask you about that sometimes, because it's like, is there times like you feel like you're on a treadmill or something like that?
Yes.
Yes. How do y'all keep going then?
We just push through.
Push through.
Definitely, we push through.
Mm-hmm. You try to remember what you're there for, right?
Yes.
Oh,
We
yes.
remember what we're there for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the rewarding part. I think that's what helps us push through.
Yeah, but I've talked to several of your peers, and they're like, and they put on a brave and happy face, but I know there has to be some mornings like, I don't want to go and talk to this man, and I don't want to have to shake anybody more. I don't want any more fundraising, but that's not the way the world is it?
Fundraising is the hardest part of our job.
Really? Yeah, but it is, because I know you probably deal with a lot of people that want to help, but sometimes they can't. And you have to handle that, tactfully, I suppose. Hey, you can't say, hey, you deadbeat. I know you can give. $10, that's all you got? No, it doesn't work that way either.
No, not at all.
No, but it is something I've come to learn as I sat here in this seat over the last 6+ years, is just fundraising is 24/7. And that's just the way of the world. Do you ever see yourselves getting to the point, we got enough money. our pantries are full.
No.
No.
And the easiest way to fundraise is to find people that align with the passion, and they have a passion for it. And that's the that's the easiest ask.
Well, I have your friend Elizabeth Becker on 2 weeks from today, on the 10th. Same thing, and I talked to people the next step, and they had this big fundraiser. Now it's on to the next one and that kind of thing. So I admire what y'all do. I really do, because you got to be really self-motivated. Because, I'm sure y'all feel like if you don't do this job right, some people out in the world may suffer the consequences.
Yeah, it's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
It's
Most
a heavy burden.
definitely.
And how do y'all do with that? I mean, you're doing the best you can. Yeah, I mean, it's not all on y'all.
It's on the community as a whole, I think. I mean, we all play a part in it, for sure.
And I guess Burleson's a better community than most when it comes to these things, because I've talked to people in other communities and they don't have anything like what we're going on. Is there a food bank in Joshua? I don't know. I think there is one, but
There's a couple churches that do food banks in Joshua, but nothing
like this.
Nothing like this. No. And it is a heavy burden, and it is I was actually just talking to my husband about how heavy of a burden it is. Since I've been in this role as executive director, I've realized how intense the burden is, because you're right. If we don't raise the money, if we don't have the volunteers, if we don't have all the pieces of that fundraising puzzle, then people go without, and that is something that we can't have happen. And so it's a constant burden, and it's a privilege. It's not just a burden. It's a privilege to have that honor, but it's not something that we steward lightly.
Well, I guess I brought that up because I want the community to know that they have true servants in this community. They get up in the morning and put aside whatever, they got going on to try to serve others. And it's a hard gig. It's similar to school teaching because some days they could read it in a book, or I'll put a film on, or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to do the job right, you had to get up and do it and put your guts and heart into it and all that. But I just want the community to know that this is something that y'all and all your peers have to deal with is every day. But, I would also say, don't take that burden on personally. I mean, y'all are doing the best you can, doing a fantastic job. And so don't feel like it's all on y'all, all right? It's on us too. And to kind of segue into it, it also has to do with what's going on in the world with the government, right? As much as we don't like to talk politics, I'll talk to politics. They're not going to talk to politics. But this shutdown is now going to start to have an effect.
Yeah.
Because there's no more SNAP benefits as of Saturday, which effectively means next Monday. You've had the first missed paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal employees. And I saw this news article, and it may have been hyped by NBC News, I don't know, but it was this long line at the food bank in some Northern Virginia community. And it was like, seriously had to be 2 blocks long.
Mm-hmm.
It could, and they were interviewing people, and over half of them were first-time users because they were federal employees and they weren't going to get a check.
Mm-hmm.
This shutdown is going to have impact on us one way or the other. And we, as far as who's to blame, is the Democrats, is the Republicans, that's another conversation. And I'll do that myself next week. Well, no, but I don't want that to reflect on y'all because I know you give to both sides. You want to receive from both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at an event this weekend at one of our partner churches, and we had a lady that came up to our booth, and she said that she was on food stamps, and she had received a packet from her case manager that told her to how to prepare for the fact that they were not going to be receiving the food stamps. And like you said, it's not just the food stamps, it's people that don't have, that are not receiving their checks. And so that's whatever we call in the community, because if, there's both sides of the fence, people that think the government's the answer and people think that government's the problem. It doesn't really matter which side of that fence you're on when the government benefits that people are counting on, disabled people, people with young children, when those are gone, the food pantries are the ones that receive the biggest hit for that. And it's combined with the lack of, during government shutdowns, during political rough waters, people stop giving. Naturally, they hold on to their money. So we have a combination of a perfect storm brewing.
Here's our friend Rich Hooper.
Hi, Rich.
I just love these two ladies. They're making a huge impact in this area. I've always said, do the right thing, the right way, for the right reason. God will honor it.
Yes, that's good.
That is.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good.
And he's in a similar situation. He's a nonprofit as well. And, we were talking about this last Monday when he was on, and it is a 24/7 job. But, but back to what you were saying, I wonder the people that say, well, the government really shouldn't be involved in these kind of social welfare programs.